Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Zero Gaming here, and let's talk about another episode of Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, where today we will be covering the details about Squall and Cloud. So this hasn't been confirmed, but Squall and Cloud has been rumored to be featured along Lightning during the anniversary banner as a refresh of the Start Dash banner. So basically the three of them is rumored to say that they will be getting their BT+, their Crystal Level 90 and their Rework all together. I've already covered about Lightning's kit in another video, so if you're interested to go for her or if you would like to know more about her kit, I have put up the link to the video in my description below so you can go check it out. So we're gonna start with Cloud first because we're gonna leave the best for last. Yes, Squall, my boy, is gonna get his rework, which is I'm really excited for. So let's start with Cloud first. So the two of them, Cloud and Squall, both get a rework on their LD, their skill 1 and their skill 2. As well as getting an EX extension with the Crystal Level 90 upgrade, as well as getting their BT+, so there's a lot going on with their new kit. The LD for Cloud basically now becomes a 2 AoE Bravery plus single target HP attack dealt by 6 times. Holy HP attack here, and of course a 50% splash to non-target. His skill 2 now does a 2 single target Bravery plus HP attack by 5 times, with 50% splash to non-targets now instead of 20%. And his skill 1, which is cross slash, or in this case should be chainsaw slash because of the increased amount of single target bravery. So essentially it's a 3 single target bravery plus HP attack dealt by 3 times. But it doesn't have any splash or AoE damage in this particular kit. But the best part about Cloud right now is his EX extension, because Cloud actually has a very fast charge EX considering how slow his entire speed is. So right now his EX is more than just providing his buff. It's a 3 AoE Bravery plus split HP attack dealt by 6 times and improve his buff, which is the Mako buff, by providing an additional buff of 20% HP damage up to his entire kit. So with the amount of HP attack in Cloud's kit, he actually benefit a lot more in the department of HP damage up because of how his entire kit relies on dumping more HP damage before capping his bravery. And although 20% HP damage up isn't a lot in this situation, but it still solidifies his position as a strong damage dealer to the entire party. His additional ability also get an upgrade. It's now a 4 single target bravery plus HP attack, which has now extended the additional ability buff to 6 turns, and it provides a self 10% stolen max bravery overflow up, as well as a 30% bravery damage cap up. So like I mentioned, Cloud also get a BT+ upgrade. His BT effect previously has already been solidified as an aura bot because he has the 30% max bravery overflow up, 50% bravery damage up, 50% critical bravery damage up, and 20% bravery damage cap up. Right now with his BT+, it improved the brave damage cap out by 30%, by another additional 30% so it now becomes a 50% bravery damage cap up, as well as providing a new 50% party attack up. Okay, so Cloud has always been really good. He has tons of utility in his kit for a damage dealer. His skill 1 allows him to paralyze an enemy, his skill 2 allows him to launch, his LD delays, and his EX just dish out a lot of damage. His BT finisher is also one of the more popular attack during the FR era because of how it's one of the largest damage dealing skill in one particular action. And with his new BT+ effect, he also provides a very good aura to the entire party. Okay, so Cloud is essentially just a click button and look at the damage go kind of character. He's not exactly the most complex character given how many utility he has. He's actually surprisingly easy to use. Just make sure you use his skill 1 in the plus variation, which will guarantee his paralysis. The plus variation can only be obtained by using his skill 2 once, which is his launching ability. His launch attack also allows the non-target to be launched the next turn, so make sure you use it, fully utilize it during his BT phase. Okay, so with BT+, Cloud now has an additional turn during his BT phase, which kind of improve the way you use his BT rotation. If you want to maximize his damage without having to bring units like Selfie, which guarantee launch the entire turn, you want to use the following BT rotation in my suggestion here. Again, this is only to maximize the damage output dealt in his BT phase. Starting off, you want to only enter the BT after using his LD to gain that free skill from his LD ability. So remember that you do only want to use his skill 2 on the target and then proceed by using the other skill on non-target to make sure the launch is kept at a consistent level. So starting his BT, you want to use his skill 2 first and then use his LD to gain another free skill, and then use his skill 2 again and then his skill 1, then his skill 2 again, and then finally his EX before his BT finisher. The only reason I put skill 1 in the middle is to provide the skill 1 plus again when you use skill 2 for the third time. So when you leave the BT phase, you'll have at least the skill 1 plus variation ready for any clutch paralysis you need. So this is actually the most optimal rotation in my opinion to maximize Cloud's damage during the BT phase. Of course, you want to also use the same rotation during his FR charge because his EX is his largest damage dealing kit. So you only want to use the highest damage dealing skill as later as possible to abuse the FR charge, which will be higher as more skill is used. So like I mentioned, Cloud is not exactly the hardest unit to use. He's a very solid option to go for. The only issue I have with Cloud has been always the same, which is his low speed. Surprisingly, he's actually one of the slowest character in the entire Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia unit roster. He's not the slowest I think, but he does have one of the lowest speed. So you might want to pair him out with turn manipulator like Noctis, Ram to maximize his utility. I haven't been using Cloud for quite a while. I was intended to max him with Squall if they get there. But right now I hesitate a little bit because of how we might get a new possible BT, which I will be discussing later in this video. But before that, let's proceed to the next character, which is my best boy right here. So Squall essentially get the upgrade as well on his entire kit like I mentioned before. His LD now does a 4 AoE bravery attack plus single target HP attack dealt by 4 times with a 80% splash. It also refunds 1 skill each for both of his skill 1 and his skill 2. Squall actually has a very good longevity prior to this LD rework, but right now this just makes him last a lot longer. Though I strongly believe that this is only to maintain his damage during his BT phase since if you do not give him this skill refund ability, he would have 2 empty turns during the BT phase with no ability to use other than his HP attack. So I think this is actually more catered for his ability to maximize the damage dealt in the BT phase itself. His follow-up also get a rework, which is the best part about his kit. He now has 4 AoE bravery plus single target HP attack dealt by 2 times with a similar 50% splash. So coupled along with all his ability, you'll get more HP dumps in Squall with this additional rework in his follow-up. His LD ability now combined with this follow-up does a huge amount of HP dump, which is a total up to 6 HP dumps on the single target. So this just makes Squall a lot easier to deal the maximum damage with more enemies since the bravery attack from the skills are all AoE. His skill 1 and skill 2 also get a rework. His skill 1 now does 6 single target bravery plus single target HP attack, followed by a 3 AoE bravery plus single target HP attack with a 50% splash to non-target. And his skill 2 now does 6 single target bravery plus single target HP attack dealt by 2 times, and also has a standard 100% splash to non-target. So essentially he's just adding 1 more HP dumps in his skill 2 and not much changes to his skill 1 except more bravery attack on the second follow-up attack. And this will combine with his follow-up attack again from the LD buff, which is the 4 AoE bravery plus HP attack dealt by 2 times. So bringing up his skill 2 and skill 1 both to 4 HP dumps each. Alongside with his crystal level 90 upgrade, his EX also does a very good chunk of damage right now. It's a 5 single target bravery plus HP attack dealt by 4 times with now a 20% splash to non-target. So the splash involved in all of his kit actually works really well with his BT effect. For those who doesn't know, Squall BT effect was always very selfish because of how specific his BT buff is. His BT buff essentially provides the party splash HP damage up by 50%, which is essentially what Squall does the most. But right now with his BT Plus upgrade, it actually provides 2 new buffs, which is quite aura friendly to the entire party. It now provides a 50% bravery damage up and 20% max bravery cap up to the entire party. His additional ability of course also get the upgrade, which now extend the additional ability buff to 12 turns and provide a self 25% attack up and a 40% self bravery damage cap up. So surprisingly, people actually believe that Squall has a very party-wide friendly aura right now with his BT Plus effect instead of the selfish damage dealer, which he was very infamously of. But even though I am a very huge Squall fan myself, all Squall does has always been the same, which is all about damage. He doesn't provide too much utility outside his kit, but unlike Cloud, he's actually quite fast in his entire kit because of how one of his passive works, which allows him to actually increase his speed when his bravery is low, and Squall doesn't have any bravery refund after dealing the last HP damage from his LD attack follow-up. So yes, if you have followed up my last couple of videos where I run a Squall saga, you will know that Squall is actually quite unpredictable in terms of his skill jumping. When using some of his skill, he would actually turn jumps sometimes, not every time mind you, but I actually really like Squall just for the simplicity of his kit. He's just clicking button and watching the damage goes, and he does a lot of damage right now with his upgrade, so I'm just happy with that additional HP dumps itself. Pairing Squall and Cloud is actually not a very difficult task. Both of them are very good damage dealer, and both of them actually require some sort of support to maximize their damage output, and of course because of their tendency to have no bravery refunds after dealing the last HP attack of their skill, they will preferably shine better with a tank in the party so that they won't have to worry about dying or being broken by the enemy itself. So my plan for these two characters is actually fairly obvious for Squall. I'm gonna BT Plus him right away as soon as his upgrade hits the global, which I believe it's already quite predictable in my situation because of how I'm running a Squall saga and how much of a fan I am for Final Fantasy VIII character. And of course Cloud, I wanted to BT Plus him like I mentioned in the video itself, but this has to entirely look on how much of a possible new characters BT that we will be getting or we might be getting during the anniversary release. From what the data mine has provided, RAM has actually updated us that we might get Garnet's BT Plus, which is actually really surprising for me at first because I never thought that we will be getting a global first BT Plus. I actually mentioned about it during my last video that I don't think we will be getting a BT Plus global first character, but it essentially just surprised the hell out of me, especially when it's again about Final Fantasy IX. I mean, don't get me wrong, Garnet is actually one of my most favorite female character in the game, so her getting a BT Plus is actually quite a very good upgrade for me. But I'm just not very happy with the fact that we're constantly getting characters from the same series that receive such a global first treatment. First it was Beatrix as a global first character, and then Vivi as a global first LD character, and now Garnet as a first global BT character. It's just there's so many other more title in this series out there that they could go for, so I just find it a bit weird where they go for one specific series so many times. It was Final Fantasy 15 previously, and now it was Final Fantasy 9. 7 and 12 get a small cameo with Vincent and Baltier, but other than that we are not seeing any other characters from other series getting this kind of treatment. I guess I just want to see more variation from different Final Fantasy. I mean, don't come at me Final Fantasy IX fans. I know that if a Final Fantasy VIII character is being introduced as a global first or receive a global first LD or even a BT, I will be very happy because that is always my bias Final Fantasy. But I can understand the fact where if you're a Final Fantasy IX fan, you would definitely be over the moon and overjoyed right now with Garnet being the latest character to receive such a good rework from Square Enix. Regardless though, it's always good to have additional content for us globals. I don't want to seem ungrateful because we have been getting additional content which is not provided to JP players at this point, so I don't think there's too much to complain about. I don't want to be one of those people that is ungrateful about what they get when we already get this much from Square Enix. I'm just pointing out the point of view of what I expect in this particular anniversary. I didn't even expect a global surprise, to be honest, but I think given how the past record has been, I guess this is tradition right now, maybe. But regardless, all this complaint means nothing because I'm still gonna pull Garnet regardless. If she get the BT+, I will be going for her. Even though we are in garbage era where the content will be easier even with this release of a very broken character, global first character are always a nice surprise to pull for because of how unpredictable their kit is and how unique the team comp can go for them, because you don't actually see JP people using this as its global exclusive. I also heard that Aiko and Alice will be getting their LD alongside Garnet's BT release. For me, this is a very good approach because both Aiko and Alice, I mean Aiko is just around the corner, so having her release this early is not really too much of an issue. And for Alice, she's not too broken upon her release. In fact, she actually get overlooked pretty fast because of how the stronger character get released either earlier than her or like just right after her. So I think having her release earlier than expected is actually a very good way to promote the character itself. I personally really like Alice because of how complex her kit is. If we do get their banners early, I will be talking about them, and I will try my best to release a Let's Talk About series about the 3 of this character as soon as I can. But for now, I'm just gonna not talk too much into it because it's purely just speculation right now. But Ram's info has never gone wrong, so I do believe that this info is actually quite accurate, this data mine. So yes, I think we can look forward into this. Alright guys, so thank you again for watching. I'll be going for Squall like I said, and I will try my best to go for Cloud as well, but if Garnet's BT is really amusing for me, I will definitely choose Garnet over Cloud, but we'll see how it goes. Lock, sadly, if this much is released before Lock's banner or alongside Lock's banner, I will be skipping him because it's just too much hype right now around all these different characters, so my alternate can go for Lock though, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway guys, so thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. Cheers guys.